This is Hot Take, the final segment of the podcast where we look online, find something controversial regarding Dragon Ball, discuss it, and then everyone hates us in the comments. But this week, I wasn't the one to look for the hot take. Ajoten, you've got it, which means my day's about to be ruined.
Funnily enough, no.
Oh,
It's actually just something I stumbled across and I thought was quite interesting.
wow.
So, yeah, it's something you just might find interesting to talk about, Heeroh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get in a bit of a rage this week? Oh,
No,
great.
no, I'm feeling kind.
Wow.
I've already ruined your day already by winning the Hall of Fame. So,
Unbelievable.
Sorry, I had to. I couldn't help.
Unbelievable.
Right, so-
fair enough. So,
Right.
what is this hot take?
So the take is, and get this up right on my phone. So the most competent foe in Dragon Ball Z was Dr. Gero. Changed my mind. He was the only enemy that had a laid out plan, knew his opponent, and knew he wouldn't be able to defeat them without perfect cell. Everyone else comes in guns blazing and constantly underestimating Goku and Co.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main part of the take. Now, there is a response to it, which is kind of adds to it quite well, actually. It's the first response. And that response is honestly, yeah, not to mention this man not only had one plan, but a plan with plans. So first he had himself, aka Android 20. So he changed himself into an android. He then had Android 19. And if that failed, he also had Android 17 and 18. And if those two didn't obey, he had bombs put within them. And if you want to count the movies for them failing, he had Android 13, 14, and 15. That would turn into Super Android 13, being so strong, Goku needed plot to defeat him.
Yeah.
And if that all went down the drain, he had Cell. Could not only take out the rogue androids, he was designed to absorb them. And they were also so strong that you needed Gohan's plot device to beat them.
Yeah. You know what? That's a very solid take, you know. That's very solid. I like that. That's a good one. It's hard to disagree with.
That he has a lot of contingencies when you think about it.
Yeah.
And when
So
you think
many.
about it, he was incredibly well prepared with Cell.
Yeah.
He took all of the DNA of the world's best fighters and had them prepared and put into Cell.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
Cell was incredibly well designed.
Yeah, I don't think this guy mentioned it, or maybe he didn't. I just was in my own thoughts at the time. But he turned himself into an android as well, so he wasn't as weak as a human.
That's the point in the start where he said he's Android 20, because that's what
Yeah.
Dr. Gero is. He's Android 20.
Yeah. Weird how he didn't just name himself like Android 1.
Yeah. Apparently, I read a note. I don't know if it's necessarily true, but the androids, as they decrease in number, they get stronger. So,
That's true.
like 19, so like 16 stronger than 17 and 18, and they're stronger than 19 and 20.
That can't be true because Android 8, Ada. There is no way he is much stronger.
Isn't 8 like ridiculously strong though? Isn't 8 actually just ridiculously strong?
He is strong, but I mean, it's hard to really match power levels when we're talking about an OG Dragon Ball character who doesn't show up again.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just a whole. But I mean, you could take that out as being Dragon Ball. To be honest, you could look at it from a Z perspective.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that 13 and 14 are really stronger than 17 and 18.
But 16 is definitely stronger than 17 and 18.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He manhandled First Form Cell, and 17 and 18 could not beat First Form Cell.
Yeah.
16 decimated First Form Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, it was only when he absorbed 17 that 16 couldn't keep up. So I think it's fair to say 16 is stronger than 17 and 18.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah.
I can't disagree, to be honest.
I can't disagree. I didn't actually like ever really think about it that much that he had so much in place. But when it's all laid out like that, it's like, yeah, he did really plan. He planned
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. I mean, I know the films aren't canon, but like 13 is really well designed
Yeah.
when you think about it. Like he's a strong enemy in his own right, and then
Mm,
he's designed to absorb the other two androids, and he's seriously strong.
mm.
And it is technically only plot punch that allows him to be defeated,
Yeah.
really. Like he is so much stronger than Goku.
Oh yeah.
So much stronger than Goku.
He broke his balls.
Yeah, in one punch.
Yeah.
He
The
literally
little
one
cracked
punch
egg
man. Yeah.
frame.
Like Dr. Gero is very easily capable of creating androids that are so much stronger than the Z Warriors.
Mm,
Now, he didn't want now I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say that he doesn't want to use 17 and 18 rebelled against Dr. Gero.
mm,
Obviously, he couldn't control them. Obviously.
mm,
Now he was aware of that. He's not stupid. He didn't want to use 17 and 18 because I watched the scene when I read the tape
mm,
when he activates them. And he actually says, if I didn't have any other choice, I wouldn't activate these guys.
mm.
Something along that lines. And when he activates them, he's got the nuke switch in his hand
Yeah.
and he makes sure he sees it because 17 and 18, they activate and they look and they immediately see the nuke switch in his hand. So they play along.
Mm,
And it's only when he's not looking that they kill him.
yeah.
So he's very well aware that they're rebelling. He doesn't use 16, despite 16 being stronger, obviously, just because of the fact that it's his son.
Mm,
So that's the only reason he doesn't use 16, like because of his emotional attachment. So he could use 16 quite easily.
yeah.
So I mean, I think that's his flaw is the fact that he's not flawless, but that doesn't mean that he's not competent.
Mm,
It just means that his plan was incomplete.
yeah. Because if you compare to like any other villain, Frieza, yeah, he didn't really plan for it. Actually, if anything, like he was trying to get the Dragon Balls, and all these other people showed up that he wasn't ready for on Namek.
Yeah,
And he was like, "Yeah,
he
I'm
was
gonna kill
literally
everyone."
just like he just underestimated them. He was like, "I'll deal with you later," and I don't care about you. Just like he literally lost because he just underestimated everybody all the time, and he toyed with everybody. And
Mm,
Frieza was lost so many times just because he underestimates people and he toys with the people.
yeah, because even like when he came back to life, he didn't plan out a strategy. He just, he trained a little bit to unlock Golden Frieza, and then thought, "Yeah, I'm probably strong enough now. Let's go." And
And he
nope.
literally couldn't control his golden form. And
Yeah.
Goku actually pointed it out to him. He was like, he knew before Frieza did that he was about to lose the form.
Mm,
He was like, you can't control this. You're about to lose your power. And he
yeah.
did.
Hmm.
And it's like,
Which is his own fault. And
yeah,
apart from that, I don't think there's any other villain who had a plan of action before going in for an attack. Well, actually, Babidi, I guess he knew. He wanted to revive Boo, and he knew these warriors were strong. He had a bit of a plan, and it kind of worked. He did manage to revive Boo, but then his plan went out the window after that.
Boo. He tried to control Boo. He didn't control Boo very well. Boo told him to take a hike. He got sick of Boo. He couldn't control Boo in any capacity, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Babidi didn't have any backup plans.
Mm.
He had one plan, which was activate Boo, and that was it.
Mm.
Whereas Gero had, like I said, multiple plans,
Yeah.
especially if you do include the films.
Mm.
I know they're not canon. I'm just
Even without canon, he had multiple androids. He had Cell. He had himself changed. Like, yeah, a lot of contingencies
he was in Trunks' timeline. He was literally successful.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, and he didn't even need Cell
No.
in that timeline.
I mean, again, that's because of Goku's heart disease.
Yeah.
That played a big part, which is not something that Gero really planned for, I guess. But it happened, so he got helped.
But could Goku have beaten the androids?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't.
Hard to say.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think that's very hard to say.
Yeah. He is stronger than Vegeta at this point still, and Vegeta in Super Saiyan after the hyperbolic time chamber with Trunks, I guess, was kind of toying with Cell. So I think he could have beat the androids.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
if they could get to the hyperbolic time chamber in time, it depends if the androids would have stopped them getting into hyperbolic time chamber. But if they blew up the hyperbolic time chamber while they're because what's to stop them blowing up that? If they're hunting for Goku, which is what they were doing with 16,
Yeah,
like, but they wouldn't have just let them chill in the hyperbolic time chamber, would they?
it's true, but I mean, you don't need much time in there. It's like, a year goes by in one day, even if they get like half a day.
1 day is a long time.
It is. It is.
Well, I would say 1 day is a long time. Like,
Yeah.
they can fight them quite quickly. It depends how much they faff about, really.
Mm.
Um,
Which
I
they
think I
know
think
though.
I think that's a very tough one to call.
You've got to remember, like in the future Trunks timeline, Trunks grows old. Well, not old, but like older. Future Gohan is older as well, and they're
Yeah,
still around because the androids haven't killed everyone. So there's a high chance, half a day, a full day of
yeah,
them sneaking off to the time chamber, it could definitely happen.
yeah. They do like to play about. Like, they messed about in a truck. Like,
Mm,
they drove about in a truck. That's the thing. They toy about way too much.
yeah,
Like, future Gohan is enough of a match for one of the androids.
yeah,
I would say.
yeah. I think Goku would have beat them.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but Cell, no. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, but I think that's the thing. I think the point is, like, I would say he's more organized. Jiro's more organized than Babidi. Babidi had one plan,
mm,
and that is just do.
yeah, pretty much.
Whereas Jiro had contingencies.
Yeah, which worked. I
Uh,
wonder if he had any contingency for 17 or 18 dying before Cell could absorb them. Like, did he have it where Cell could have absorbed 16? Or himself, maybe?
I wonder what happened if he would have absorbed 16.
Yeah. Or even 19? He could have absorbed 19?
But he never did try to absorb 16. And plus,
No.
he's not. He's just a robot, isn't he? So,
Mm,
like, um, Cell needs like biomatter. So I probably wouldn't have done anything.
I guess. 16 and Gero, though, they could have worked.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe.
I I think that with time, Jiro would have beat them, and I
Yeah.
think the fact that they went back
Mm.
to him for superhero, that they referenced back to Jiro and used Jiro's grandson. Is it grandson or great grandson?
Grandson. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Which is
kind of
another contingency. He thought, if I fail, I'm going to have kids, I'm going to have grandkids, so then they can do it.
but it's kind of an homage to say, like, we haven't forgot about how good he was at this.
Mm.
The fact that it runs in the family is how good he was. That Cell was literally the perfect being,
Yeah.
and like Boo just underestimated. He was just literal chaos. I I agree with the take. I'm sorry, I just agree.
I have to agree with it as well. It's quite mad to think about, but yeah, Giro was like the hardest working villain. Yeah. He put in the effort.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't successful, and he made mistakes,
Mm.
but he planned. He took his time. Um, he was just he was outmatched,
Mm.
but and the good guys did win. But that doesn't mean. But just because you lost doesn't mean you weren't prepared.
Mm.
I think that's the important thing. Just because you lost doesn't mean you weren't well prepared.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's fair
Like,
enough.
yeah, no, I would say he's definitely most prepared. He had lots of contingencies. He made lots of plans. Cell was very dangerous. I would say Cell got the closest to doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Cell was probably the biggest danger. potentially.
Yeah, I have to
Without
agree.
Gohan.
Yeah, it's a
No,
tough
I agree.
take to argue against, but that's what the comments are for. So
Yeah.
if any of you guys disagree and think actually no, Gero was terrible, there's a better villain who did more, then please let us know, because I'm actually really curious, because even through movie villains I can't really think of anyone who truly planned as well as Gero did to win. So yeah, let us know what you think. Do you agree? But that's going to be a great place to wrap up the podcast, I think.